Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Check it out. Lil Boosie's up for a revocation hearing. He got the gun charge put aside. We're going to break it down how a man that survived death row and knows exactly what steel doors feel like wind up back in this situation. So sit back. I'm going to give you the psychological effects of it because we already know a younger Boosie, he may have laughed at this type of pressure. This is pressure, but this is nothing to boot. Let's get this party started. Hit that like button, hit that like button. Keep it moving, keep it moving. Keep it going. All right, this how we do it. We're going to get right into this because this right here, this what's going on with Boosie, right?
Well, federal probation officers are seeking to revoke Baton Rouge rapper Torrance Lil Boosie Hatch's supervised release. Probation officers accused Hatch of violating the terms by leaving the district without permission, committing or attempting to commit another crime, and possessing a controlled substance. Hatch got probation for a California gun charge. This is dating back to 2023, but last month he was arrested at a Houston nightclub for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Now, so that's where we at with Boosie, right? But I'm going to take you deep into the psychological effects on how a person in that situation thinks. Being that I served 26 years in federal prison, and I know what it's like to sit there and wake up every morning knowing that they expect you to die before you leave that prison. Now, Boosie walked out of the courtroom. He felt cool. He done made it. But the feds never really let go. They always keep a hand on you, so you understand. The man who faced death row is worried about one more cell. Isn't this deep? Listen to me closely, right? This ain't just another Boosie headline. This ain't another rapper standing outside a courtroom talking tough for the cameras. This is a man who already knows what it feels like to hear a steel door close behind him. Boosie has already lived through the kind of pressure most people couldn't breathe under. He once faced death row and survived it. He once had the possibility of dying inside the system, hanging over his head. I know what that feels like after me doing 26 years in federal prison with life with no chance of parole as my sentence. Back then, Boosie was younger when he dealt with death row. He was wilder, still moving with the energy that makes a man believe he can laugh at danger. When you're young, you think fear belongs to somebody else. I could never be spared. We used to call ourselves Lionheart back then. You know, Jamaica used to say that, or Lionheart. It's saying, you think court is a game. You think lawyers will make your problems disappear. You think prison is just another chapter you can survive. But Boosie ain't that same man now that sat on death row. He has more to lose, more children watching, more years behind him, more success built, more understanding of what time really costs. So when federal probation says they want to revoke his supervised release, he may not be laughing now. Years ago, he would have laughed because the younger man saw prison as something he could survive. The older man knows survival itself comes with damage. He knows a cell doesn't only hold your body, it knows it holds your mind. And once you walk in that cell, one thing is certain, you'll never walk out of there the same. Either you're gonna go all the way nuts or you're just gonna go nuts. All right? Now, it reaches outside and pulls your entire family on punishment with you. When you laying in your cell and these thoughts is running through your mind, you're thinking about your family who's now doing time with you. Your girl can't jump in. She can't go in the shower at 3:30 or 3 o'clock because they got count time at 4. So she wait till 4 o'clock to go take a shower because that's when the phones will be off while they have you locked in the cell. And that's her time to take a shower. That's when they bidding with you. If y'all don't understand that, put that in the comments, man. If you understand it, put it. If anybody been there, put it there. When your girl say, "Yeah, I was about to go run to the store," and you say, "Nah, hold up, it's only 3:30. They got count time at 4." Now you done made her doing the bid with you. You telling her, "Nah, don't go to the store. You free. I can't call you from 3 to 4, so go to the store then." Now, let me give you the jewel in that, right? Because this don't get too deep. Make sure you hit the like, the hype, put a comment, give me a couple of emojis so we push this thing forward. I like showing y'all so you understand. For those of y'all just coming, I've been had the 100,000 joint, but they done said that this don't mean nothing, so I say, you know what I mean? Now, what matters is you hitting the like, comment, emoji, and the hype button to get this message out. But as I was saying, we were talking about the jewel, right? The jewel. A young man laughs at a cell because he doesn't understand time. The older man fears the cell because he finally does understand time. Now, report to class, everyone. Professor Unique is here talking. The hood professor is here. Report to class. Get out your phones. Get ready to do your commenting, your emojis, and all that. Because I got a question for the class today. Does surviving prison make a man feared less or respected more? Put that verdict in the comment. Now, the case was dismissed, but the feds came back. Let's clean up the story, right? Boosie's original federal gun case was dismissed. People declared and celebrated. People said he beat the government. People acted like the whole fight was over, not understanding that it's never over. But the federal government always come back. Boosie later pleaded guilty. The judge could have sent him back to prison. Instead, he received time served, a fine, community service, and 3 years of federal supervised release. That sounds like freedom to somebody who never lived under supervision. But anybody who knows the federal system understands what really happened. The judge opened the gate, but the judge didn't remove the leash. Boosie could go home. He could work. He could perform. He could sit with his family. But the federal conditions were still traveling with him wherever he went. The courtroom was still in his life. The probation officer was still in his life. Every trip, every police contact, every new allegation, every questionable environment could find its way back into the federal file. That's the part people miss. Boosie walked out, but he didn't walk away. Now, let me give you the jewel in that, right? Got to give you the jewel in that because we like to ride. We like to ride. A dismissed case can feel like victory. Do you agree? Put it in the comments. But federal supervision can turn that victory into a 3-year test. Did you understand that? Now, drop your jewels in the comment. Is supervised release freedom or just a longer courtroom hallway? Now, one night in the club can reopen an old nightmare. That's what happened with Boosie with that one night in the club. Now comes the alleged nightclub incident. There's a new accusation out of Texas. Boosie disputes wrongdoing. He said he ain't do nothing wrong. The state, allegations has not been proven. So I'm not calling him guilty. Let's get that straight. That ain't what we do here. But the federal problem is bigger than whether the state case ends in a conviction. Federal probation officials are reportedly asking the judge to revoke his supervision. That means one alleged night, one argument, one confrontation, one police report, one set of statements, one travel question, one disagreement about supervision conditions can bring a man back before the same federal system that just allowed him to stay home with the leash. Think about that. You could spend years trying to rebuild your name, rebuild your money, rebuild your family, rebuild your peace. Then one night can put it all back in the judge's desk. That's why I tell the young brothers coming home, right? The night may last 3 hours, but the consequences can last 3 years or longer. The people around you may wake up and call it a misunderstanding, right? But you may just wake up and see a violation petition with your name on it. You know what I mean? Because now you done violated and you were just having fun for 3 hours. Now they send you back for 3 years. Let's get to the jewel. A nightclub incident can end before sunrise. The paperwork it creates can follow you for years or even decades. Let me hear your verdict on this, huh? Should somebody on federal supervision avoid certain environments completely? Put that in the comments. Now, the old Boosie may have laughed. This Boosie knows better. Let's get into the psychological side. Right. A younger Boosie may have looked at this and said, man, it can't break me. I've been through worse. I faced death row. I survived prison. This ain't nothing. And when you're younger, that's how pride talks. Pride compares every new danger to the worst thing you already survived. Pride says, if I survive that, I can survive this too. But wisdom asks a different question. Wisdom says, why would I have to survive another nightmare at all? Bootsy is older now. He knows how fast the public moves on. He knows fans can post support today and find another story tomorrow. Last week it was Gucci Mane, Pooh Shiesty, Little Durk. He knows when the courtroom empties, the celebrity still has to go where the judge sends him. He knows money can hire lawyers, but money can't sleep on a prison mattress for you. Fame can fill arenas, but fame can't stop count time. Millions of followers can scream your name, but when that cell door closes, the second disappears. That's the difference between being young and known too much. The young man sees danger as something to challenge. The experienced man sees danger as something to avoid. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the comment, hit the like button, hit the Cash App at the screen. Make sure you hit that. Make sure you hit the icon of Series Creator 2020. Let's keep this moving because I want to give y'all the jewel in this. Y'all deserve the jewel in this, right? Real growth isn't saying I can survive prison again. Real growth is saying I refuse to give prison another piece of me. Now, everybody reported to class on time. How was the ride? How was the train? Everybody got here, all right? All right. The Uber got you here, all right. Now, your man picking you up after class. All right, I got this. I'm gonna speed this up. Does toughness mean enduring consequences or learning to avoid them? Now I'm gonna take you into what I created and I call it the dark psychological cell. Before a judge ever locks a man up, his mind may already start building the cell. I call it the dark psychological cell. Boosie may be home. He may be surrounded by family. His phone may be ringing. Business may still be moving. Music may still be playing, streaming, selling, all that. But once he knows federal probation is asking for revocation, the room can get quiet inside his head. Forget what he's showing you on the outside. I'm taking you inside a man in a situation like Gucci's head. He may start replaying the alleged nightclub incident. Who said what? What did the cameras capture? What did the security tell the police? What did the police write? What did the probation, receive? What the traveler prove? Was something misunderstood? Did somebody exaggerate? Did one moment look worse on paper than it felt in real time? That's how the mind attacks you. It doesn't wait for court. It starts court at 3 a.m. When you think you're sleeping, it wakes you up. You wake up with your heart beating fast. You start thinking about the judge, the sentence, the witness, the rat bastard. And he had the nerve to come in the courtroom wearing flip-flops. Your heart dropped because that was your man that said he'll never wear flip-flops and he'll never flip or flop. But now he's sitting up there for what you consider the enemy. And that's how that dark psychological cell works during the night. You start thinking about the possible sentence, the surrender date, the strip search, the chains, the holding cell, the transport van, the first night back. And because Boosie has already lived inside, he doesn't have to imagine what prison looks like. His memory can furnish every inch of that stinking smell and the metal steel doors in the cage. He knows the smell, he knows the noise, the tension, the boredom, the helplessness, the feeling of waking up and realizing this is my life again. That's a different kind of fear. Not fear from weakness, that's fear from knowledge, from knowing the hell you're getting ready to enter into because of one night, allegedly in a club. Now, let me get a jewel rock. You know what? I want to get an intro. Hit that like button, take a break, hit that like button. All right, so that's where we at. You know what? I want to do this, right? Before we even begin, I want to give you this background right here. I want to change this up. I want to put it in a different, mindset right now. Because I like this joint here that I found. So we're going to bring this over here, right? We're going to talk. Because we talking about the psychological cell, right? The man who never did time fears what prison might be. The man who did time fears what he knows it is. Drop your verdict in the comment box. What's worse, imagining prison or remembering it? Please answer that question for all of y'all that done been there. What's worse, imagining prison or remember it? I'm gonna have to hit the bell a few times so y'all remember to come back here when you rewind the video where you see the bell stayed on the screen the longest. All right? Because we have to get an answer to that. Federal supervision is the second sentence. The first sentence was the years of confinement. People hear supervised release and imagine a monthly office visit. Federal supervision is a second chance. The prison sentence controls your body. Supervision controls your decision, where to travel, where to report, what to disclose, who you're allowed to be around, whether you have contact with law enforcement, whether the court believes you followed every direction. A free citizen can go wherever without asking permission. A supervised person may need approval. A free citizen can be accused and wait for the case to play out. A supervised person may have to answer immediately to the federal judge. That's why supervision can feel colder than people realize. You're home, but somebody else still controls pieces of your movement. You're earning money, but one allegation can threaten the whole foundation. You're sleeping in your own bed, but federal paperwork can still wake you up. That's not freedom. That's freedom with a trap door underneath, leading to the darkest depths of your mind. I'm telling you, from 26 years of experience straight of incarceration, right? I gotta get another jewel. Y'all need another jewel right now. Wake up, y'all up. I need to hit the intro again, huh? All right, we ain't trying to do that right now, right? We ain't trying to do that right now. We ain't trying to do that right now. We ain't trying to do that. A free sentence take the first sentence. The first sentence takes your freedom. The second sentence tests whether you know how to protect it. Now, everybody reported to class, so I got a question for you. Put your verdict in the comment. Are supervision conditions necessary or designed to make failure too easy? Is supervising conditions made necessary or designed to make failure easy? Let's talk. The courtroom doesn't see a rap star. They don't see Boosie at all. They don't see him. Outside the courtroom, Boosie is Boosie, a rap legend, a personality, a father, a businessman, a man with millions watching his every move. But inside federal court, the judge sees something else: a defendant, a supervisee, a file number, a set of conditions, a prior condition, a violation, allegation. The courtroom does hear the music, but the courtroom chooses not to listen. The fans hear it though. The courtroom hears compliance, conduct, credibility, travel authorization, police contact, witness statement, reports, dates. That's the courtroom translation. The streets may say, Boosie was being Boosie. Fans may say, leave that man alone, free Boosie. The federal judge may ask, did he violate the conditions I imposed? That's a completely different conversation. And this is where fame can fool people. Fame makes a man feel bigger than the moment. Federal paperwork shrinks back down. It swings it back down to the one name on the docket. Now, let's get to a jewel, bro. Fame makes the world know your name. The courtroom reduces that name to a case number. Let me hear your verdict in the comment on this. Does credibility help in court or make every mistake look bigger? The family is back in the sentence, right? Now let's talk about Boosie's family being back as a part of the sentence. Boosie ain't the only one feeling this pressure. His family knows what prison already took. They know the phone calls, the uncertainty, the visits, the waiting, the fear, the birthdays missed, the holidays changed. The children growing while a father watches through photographs, if he's lucky. So when the family hears the word revocation, they don't hear a legal term. They hear, are we about to lose daddy again? Are we going back to prison visits? Are we going back to collect calls? Are we going back to explaining this to the children? Are we going back to living around a sentence? This is why I call it the family sentence. The judge sentences one name, but the pain travels through the whole bloodline. The public gets entertainment, the family gets anxiety, the internet gets content, the children get uncertainty. And when a man has already put his family through prison once, the thought of doing it again has to hit differently. And we're seeing how that play out now with the Gucci Man situation. Because there's a lot of on both sides on it. But as long as he could sleep with his choice that he makes at the end of the night, it's not our place to judge him. But now, let me get to the jewel. A man never goes back to prison alone. His family returns with him in every way except physically. Now, y'all reported to class, and I want to thank you. Should family pain be the biggest reason a man changes after prison? Should the biggest reason a man has to change is for his family after prison? Now, let me give you the unique Mecca audio twist in this, right? Then I'm out of here, right? I might give you another one, then out of here. I'm sorry for keeping you after class, everybody. Now, the easy story is Boosie faces possible federal revocation. The deeper story is the transformation of fear. There was probably a time when legal danger made Boosie stand taller and welcome it, made him louder, made him more defiant, because some young men use toughness to hide what they don't understand. But experience changes fear. After death row, after prison, after watching years disappear, after rebuilding careers, after becoming older, after realizing how many people depend on you, fear is no longer, can I survive it? Fear becomes, why did I get close enough for them to take me again? That's the psychological twist. Prison may not scare the inexperienced man enough, but it can haunt the experienced man forever. Boosie may beat the new allegation. He may defeat the revocation of efforts, right? The judge may choose not to return him to prison. We don't know yet. But the pressure itself is already teaching the lesson. You can escape death row. You can survive prison. You can rebuild your name. You can make millions and still find yourself one decision away from hearing those keys again. Now, let's get to the jewel, man. Now, the biggest punishment isn't always going back to prison. Sometimes it's knowing you came close enough to feel the cell again. Now, drop a jewel in a comment on this. Can somebody be physically free while prison still controls his mind? My message to Boosie and every man coming home. I'm not here to disrespect Boosie. I want to see him win. I want to see him stay with his children, stay with his career, stay with his people, stay outside those walls. But I'm speaking from 26 years inside the federal system. I know what that gate costs. I know what one decision costs. I know what pride costs. I know what the wrong environment can cost you. And I know something else. It ain't enough to beat the case. You have to beat the mindset that keeps placing you close to another case. You have to change how you move. Change who has access to you. Change where you spend your time. Change what you answer. Change what you ignore. Change how you respond when somebody tests your ego. Because the old you may be able to survive prison, but the new you should be too wise to keep proving it. Boosie has already shown the world he's a survivor. He doesn't need another prison sentence to prove it again. The greatest victory now would be discipline, going home, staying home, and never allowing another federal judge to control his future again. Because we riding and we spitting jewels. Let's keep it moving. Ain't surviving another cell. The real win is never giving the cell another chance to claim you. This is unique Mecca audio, right? I served 26 years on a federal life plus 20 years sentence. So I don't speak from internet theory. I speak from the other side of that steel door. The streets are real. The prison is realer. And once you make it home, protect home like your life depends on it. Because it does. Now, let me ask you these 10 questions. Thank y'all for coming and attending the class. We're a little bit over the 30-minute mark, but I'm going to ask you these 10 questions. I'm going to give you the answers, but I want you to put your questions in the comments as well. This is where you get to exercise your verdict sheet. Is Boosie being targeted because he's famous, in your opinion? Fame may bring more attention, but supervised release also bring legal scrutiny. Both things can be true. The answer depends on the evidence and whether the conditions were actually violated. Remember that. Attention may be unclear. Accountability still has to be real. Let's get the bell. Should an unproven allegation be enough to revoke supervision? An allegation should never automatically be treated as truth. Boosie deserves a fair hearing, but revocation proceedings do not always operate under the same standard as a criminal trial. That's what makes supervision so dangerous. A man can be presumed innocent and still have his freedom threatened. Now, did the federal judge make a mistake by sparing Boosie from going to prison? Do you feel the federal judge should have sent him to prison to teach him a lesson, or the judge did the right thing? I say not necessarily. A judge can believe a man deserves a chance. One later allegation doesn't automatically erase all the reasons leniency was given. But leniency creates a heavy responsibility, right? Mercy isn't weakness, but mercy must be protected, right? Should Boosie stop going to nightclubs completely? Clubs may be connected to his profession. Going to a club isn't automatically wrong, but when your freedom is under federal conditions, you have to ask whether the environment is worth the exposure. Now, the jewel in that, every place you're allowed to go ain't a place you can afford to be. Remember that. Does facing death row make Boosie more fearless? It may make him stronger, but strength doesn't erase memory. Surviving extreme punishment can also make a man more aware of what he stands to lose. Now, the jewel in that is, survival can create courage. It can also create scars. Is Boosie too old to still be around these situations? Age alone doesn't prevent conflict, but maturity should change how a man responds to conflict. The older you become, the less sense it makes to risk decades of rebuilding over one moment. Age doesn't guarantee wisdom. different decisions do. Now, it's my 7-question class, and then we out of here. 3 more. Be patient with me. I might give you an extra grade on it. Are probation officers too powerful? Now, their reports carry serious influence. That power should be used fairly. But the final decision usually belongs to the judge. The supervised person still needs documentation, communication, and a strict compliance. Now, the jewel in that is, when your freedom depends on paperwork, handle every detail like it's life or death. Can a man really change without leaving his old environment? It's possible, but it's harder. Old places can trigger old reactions. The real change sometimes requires distance from the people and spaces connected to your old mindset. And the jewel in that is, you can always build a new life in the same room where the old one kept breaking. Now, we only got 2 more questions, class. 2 more jewels, and we out of here. All right? Easy, Boosie, we got you. If Boosie beats the Texas case, should the federal revocation disappear? Do you think that the federal revocation should disappear if Boosie beat the Texas case? It could strengthen his position, but the federal court may still examine separate issues such as conduct, reporting, or traveling conditions. Did he get permission to travel? Did he report on time? One courtroom, right? Result doesn't always settle another courtroom's question. And the jewel in that is, beating one case doesn't always close every door the case opened. All right? Last one, class, and then we out of here. Last one. Thank you for staying. All right. Who's most responsible? Boosie, his circle, or the system? Put it in the comments. The system must act fairly. The circle should protect him instead of placing him near chaos. But accountability means Boosie still has to protect his own freedom. Responsibility can be shared. The final decision about where to stand still belongs to the individual. And the final jewel in that is, the system may build a trap. The circle may bring you near it, but you still have to choose whether to step inside that circle or not. Just so you understand, we here at Unique Mecca Audio, we trying to prevent the youth from going down the wrong page. The Cash App is on the screen. It's $ Unique Mecca Hall. Make sure you hit the icon that said that it was created in 2020 if you're trying to contribute. Let's keep it moving. But before I go, I want to hear from Murder Mook. And I met a young lady yesterday. I'm going to introduce you to a little later. But right now, we're going to do Murder Mook.
Hey, what's going on, man? Murder Mook, Harlem. You know what it is, man. I just want to express how much gratitude I got for Unique. You know what I mean? I was telling him a story, telling him how I felt about, if anything was to go wrong with my career, rap-wise, if, should be slow, and I got so many opportunities to be able to do the wrong shit. When I watch Unique Mecca Audio, I feel it, and to my soul, and that's keeping me farthest away from doing anything criminal. Anything criminal. He made me think straight, honestly. Made me think straight, because I've been watching him for about a year, a year now, mate, and it just took my mind way off of that. From a year ago, it got rough. For a year ago,
Yeah.
and from watching this man, I just felt like, you saved me. You saved me. And I just want to show my gratitude, and I want to say thank you, man. Unique Mecca Audio, anything you need, brother, from me.
All right.
Anything you need, man.
All right.
Love.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops. Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in Uptown. They be horn Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the